Sammy Baugh, though 36 years old and with 15 seasons of full competition behind him, gives no signs of nearing the end of his amazing career.
Art Monk is now number one, the most prolific pass receiver in the National Football League's history. Touchdown, Washington Redskins.
This is Harry Hogue Football, the original Redskins Fans podcast. On today's show, we talk about the game between the Washington Redskins and the New York Jets and the benching of Sam Howell, number 2. This and much more live with Aaron John. Yo, what's up, John?
Yo, what's up?
Excellent! Welcome, everybody. Harry Hog Football, episode number 597. Dude, we're that close to 600? Oh, my goodness.
It would be during the off season, our first off season without Dan Snyder.
Dude, 600 might be the first episode without Ron Rivera. Without...
Ooh, oh, yeah.
We could start off 600 with a clean slate, dude.
Dude, that would be fantastic.
And I think, I don't know. I don't know if we're in agreement, but I'm pretty much leaning to the fact now that I don't think we have our quarterback of the future. So we may be starting off there.
Dude, you know what? I've been like one of the biggest Sam Howell supporters, and just like sticking behind him, even though they didn't bench him after that third pick six in 3 weeks, when I really thought they should have put him on the bench then. So they finally benched him. I figured he would come back and he would be someone who would learn from his experience, because you see athletes do that often.
He's shell-shocked, dude.
He's shell-shocked, but he is definitely not the right answer at this point.
Dude,
I mean, just my eyes watching the game, I'm just like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Dude, in this game, and I think we alluded to it a little bit last week. Maybe not. Maybe it was just me and you talking off the podcast. But how many times does Sam Howell roll out of the pocket lately in the last few weeks when he doesn't need to be rolling out? Like, there's no one about to touch him, and then he'll just roll out to the side and get to the sideline looking downfield, and instead of running for a few yards, he'll just either throw it and the receiver can't quite get it because he's on the out of bounds line, or he throws it out of bounds.
Yeah, he's shell-shocked. He's been hit so many times this season. I mean, he's like hopefully he's not going to end up like David Carr. Hopefully. But he's just been beat up so many times. And I mean, dude, you remember some of the games in the past? There was one game where he got hit. There was a couple games early this year where he got hit really hard. And you and I talking on the phone during the game, like we do often. And we're like, man, I thought he was going to be concussed from that. He's still in there. He's still playing. I think he's probably had 1 or 2 concussions this year. But he's also the kid of a football coach.
He's also a tough mother, dude.
I know, but I mean, just combine all that together, and he's just not in. I don't know.
Well, these stats don't lie, dude. 2 weeks in a row. And we talked about this. What if Brissett comes in and this week and does the same exact thing? How do we feel about our quarterback? Well, I'm looking at this.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm looking at the stat line right now.
Yeah.
And it's showing me right here. Jacoby Brissett was 10 of 13 for 100 yards, average of 7.7, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, 0 sacks, quarterback rating of 95.3, and an RTG, whatever that is, of 123.9. Our starting quarterback, however, was 6 of 22 with a 56 yards, averaging 2.5 yards a pass completion, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
Not his fault.
Neither
was his fault this last week.
Yes.
But
thank you for pointing that out. 1 of 13 on sacks, a quarterback rating of 1 0.7. Although, like you said, those picks were not his fault. Neither of them.
Those picks weren't his fault, but like we said, the guy is he's I don't know. It's sad to see because it seemed like he was progressing, he was learning stuff early in the season, and just the last like month and a half, he's just having the crap beat out of him every week.
Yeah, my question is, we know he's shell-shocked now, but do you think he's ruined like David Carr, or do you think he could bounce back from this?
See, that's what I was thinking about earlier this year. Is that exact question? Is he going to be ruined like David Carr? Because his last year at Carolina, he was also beat up a lot because all his talent left. We've talked about that a few times. I'm hoping not. But, man.
It's hard to know, right?
It's really hard to know. And it's just, I don't know. It's frustrating. It's depressing to see that we had someone that we thought was going to be good, and now and I can't say he's ruined yet because we really don't know. I mean, he's pretty much lined up to be a backup for whoever we're going to draft next year or get a free agent in the offseason. But, man, I am depressed.
Yeah, dudes, Firefly and Big Nut and people in the chat room are talking about, can we keep him as our backup? I mean, yeah, he's on the rookie deal. I would definitely keep him as the backup.
And Jacoby Brissett is only signed for 1 year. He's looking for it to be a starter somewhere.
So he's gone. He's all likelihood gone, and we're going to get a quarterback in the draft probably.
And a new coach.
With this high of a pick, we're definitely going to get one in the draft.
Right.
As opposed to going for
right now.
Yeah, third pick. As opposed to going for, a Aaron Rodgers or veteran guy, I think with our pick being this high, we're definitely going to get a quarterback.
Dude, on a side note, you know who else was benched this week? Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
What if we had gotten him? He didn't want to come here, and I don't blame him with Dan Snyder at the time, but what if he had come here? And we had spent 3 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks to get him? My head would explode.
Remember right when we thought it couldn't get any worse as a Redskins fan? That would be worse right now. But think about that, dudes. We're looking up as opposed to that situation.
Yeah. Sean Payton doesn't like him. I think it's what it comes down to. But anyway,
and he's been sucking.
Can you imagine if we had him? And instead, we've got one first round, the third pick, 2 second rounds and 2 third rounds, and we have the Bears third round, right, or second round?
Bears second. I think they got from Carolina. I don't know. One of the Bears second. The Bears have a craplet. The Bears are in a good position, dude. Really good position.
The Bears. I'm going to be very interested to see if they'll pull the plug on Justin Fields, along with firing their coach and GM, everything at the end of this year.
I don't know if they'll pull the plug on Justin Fields. That's a good question.
That's it is, because I mean right now they've got the first pick for whoever they want to go with, whether it's going to be that new dude from Carolina, next Carolina guy,
Drake May,
M-A-Y-E,
isn't it?
M-A-Y-E. I actually watched some of the game last night, but I don't recall seeing anything good or bad about him.
Did he play?
I have no idea. I don't even know if he was in. It was kind of on in the background. But I mean, you could go for him. You could go for Crybaby Williams.
He's a baller, dude. He's baller Williams, according to Kenny Kent, not Cryer.
He's
a baller. He may be your quarterback. That's your quarterback.
He may be our quarterback because we're going to bring in baller. Baller. He's a baller. But dude, we have no idea. We're gonna get a GM who's sure I'm sure is basically signed on the dotted line without actually doing it, because that would be illegal. And I'm sure that hasn't happened yet. But whoever that guy is going to bring in a coach, and they're going to decide on what to do. And I think the big thing, especially, man, after the last 2 weeks, especially, I mean, they're going to go quarterback. And I don't blame them at all.
No. Kenny Ken this morning, because I promised that I would look at some footage of these quarterbacks that he's foaming at the mouth about. And I watched the video that he sent that compared Caleb Williams to Drake May. They were talking about pros and cons. That they didn't say anything about the about the balling. But dude, I'd never seen this Drake May dude. I want to watch some more tape on him because this dude's a freaking hoss, and he's fast.
Yeah,
and he's fast, and he's big. He can see over lines. Whereas Caleb Williams is like the same size as our dude now. How?
He's a little bit taller, but
he's like 6'1", isn't he? He's pretty small.
I think he's 6'1". I think he's like 6'1 3/4 or something like that, which means he's probably 6 foot. Kind of like Sam Howell being 6 foot, but he's really like 5'10" and a half.
Yep. But anyway, I want to see him, dude. I want to see him play some more. Like, go look at some more footage, because this guy, like Caleb Williams, they were kind of comparing him to a Patrick Mahomes type dude.
Yeah. Which, I mean, Patrick Mahomes, he's pretty talented.
Yeah.
Whether you think he complains a lot or not, I mean, he's a quarterback. Tom Brady did the same thing. But I mean, both those guys have won Super Bowls.
Yeah.
We haven't for a long time. So I don't know. At this point, for me, going with the third pick or whatever it ends up being, I mean, we gotta go for a quarterback or try to get one in free agency. But I don't know who we're gonna get. And I mean, if the Denver Broncos just sold like the next 6 years of their or 5 or 6 years of their future for that guy. Remember, dude, don't forget, we did put in an offer, and they said it wasn't good enough, and or Russell Wilson just didn't want to come here. And again, don't blame him, Dan Snyder, who wanted to come here.
I know, dude. I'd rather take a shot at a chance of a bust in the draft than to end up with a Russell Wilson situation. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, because it only costs you 1 draft pick.
Well, if we want one of these 2 quarterbacks, we could have to trade up from 3.
Yeah.
Think about the Bears, though. Go ahead. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
No. You're good. I was just putting that out there.
I was gonna say, the Bears, dude. Think about what they could do if they keep Justin Fields and they have that first overall pick, and behind them is the Cardinals, right?
The Cardinals are number 2 right now, and who knows if they need a quarterback or not. I saw what Kenny Ken did in our chat room. We have a chat room on Discord, by the way. It's all Redskins fans, Commanders fans, football team fans, all hanging out. People are cool. If you guys want to check it out, you can go to tinyurl.
.com/HarryHF.
Why do you write this so small? I can never read it.
But why can't you remember it, dude? It's the same thing for like 200 eps.
I'm getting old, man.
Hey, I want to give you know who I want to give a shout out to? An old friend of ours that's come back to the podcast, the Stud Horst. The Chris Horst.
No way.
Chris Horst is hanging out in the Discord room listening right now. What's up, dude?
What, dude?
Chris Horst.
I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Look at Firefly. Hold on, I got to bring this up. Firefly thinks he stayed up for this because he wanted to hear us like, what's the word? Eating crow. What is it? Turning around. What a difference a couple of weeks make. Everyone catching up with Kenny Ken and I on the quarterback thing. Well,
I can't imagine anybody not being still going with number 3. We have to get an offensive lineman at this point, dudes. We need a quarterback because Howell may not be it, and Jacoby Brissett isn't even going to be here. And when Jacoby Brissett's a starter, you see. I mean, he was in Indianapolis 2 years ago and Cleveland last year.
Yeah.
And I know he was better in Cleveland than he was in Indy.
He was still pretty good in Indy those last few weeks or whatever.
Yeah. All in all, but not those last 2 games. And I mean, I if he were a starter, I would rank him in the bottom quarter percentile.
So you don't see any situation in which we sign him again?
No, someone's going to start him next year. Someone's absolutely going to
It
start him.
could be. Ready for this? The Broncos. Well, who are they starting now? I don't even know.
Stidham?
I don't know.
I can't
All
remember what
right,
that
all
guy's
right.
name is.
All right, what is Chen saying? It's too long for me to even put up on the screen here. Don't be so quick to say that. I have been saying we need an entire team, a new stadium, a new sewer pipes technician, a new safety railing inspector, new front office staff, new chefs, new trainers, new letterhead in the office, new name, new coaching, and new quarterback.
Yeah.
New offensive line.
But you know
DJ
what?
Cool
A
4,
lot of-
DJ Cool 4, dude, is still saying we need O-line. And there are arguments, dude. I've slowly over the last few weeks went from definite O-line to the fence to quarterback because I think we need O-line, but at this point, with how regressing as he did, I got to say I would probably use my higher pick on a quarterback and then try to get a lineman in the second round or free agency.
This draft is supposed to be very big on. It's supposed to be good on quarterbacks and offensive linemen, especially tackles. So it might be a good idea to do exactly what you said. Do a quarterback in the first pick. Excuse me, wherever that may be, and go for an offensive lineman maybe with the second pick, early in the second round.
Yeah.
Or trade back. I don't know, but dude, what we were talking about earlier with Ron Rivera. Really, really wanting to win one of these last two games so he has a winning record for his overall coaching experience. Because, again, he is never getting hired to be a head coach again, not for the NFL.
Yeah.
But, I mean, look at our team. Our team looks like a bunch of dog dude.
They suck.
But, I mean, we got a crap coach. We had a high school coach coaching our secondary. Of course they're bad.
Yeah. Except for Terrell Burgess, who's going to the Pro Bowl.
Woohoo!
Like we didn't even know he was on the team.
Is that number 32?
I don't know. But apparently, according to Al Galdi, he's leading the votes for special teams player.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice, good. I mean, we are the team with Tress Way. So, man, he had a bad game too. Man, but the whole thing I'm trying to say is that with better coaching, other than our below average coaching staff, below average to toilet bowl, where that Heckelmeyer German guy that was a friend of Jack Del Rio's was coming from. If we have good coaches, I think a lot of our guys are going to be better. I mean, they're either going to be better or they're going to be out of the league. So I think some of these guys are going to be better. I really hope so.
Dude, I think pretty much any one of our main core of listeners would be a better coach than Ron Rivera.
Yeah.
Even Firefly, and he's not even from here. He's probably like, dude, what does that mean? There was a commercial, dude, a long time ago. What was it, dude? We got to find it. We got to put the link.
I know how to spell I'm from here.
Yeah. It was like some
an Eastern European guy that came over to play basketball. The guy was like, I know how to spell I'm from here.
Yeah, I'm from here.
Oh, this is how I spell my name. He was like, I know how to spell I'm from here.
I'm from here.
And then they recognized him at the end because he was a professional and he was a baller and all that stuff. Baller, BALL. Not balls. But I don't know. With Firefly, it could be like the reverse of it could be like the
reverse Ted Lasso, dude.
The reverse Ted Lasso. He shows up. I'm here to coach a football team. What do you want?
Except we have to change the name of it because Firefly was like a sci-fi show, so it'd have to be. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Well, you just can still go with it.
We Yeah. We got a great idea. Hey, Roger Goodell, we got a great idea for a show. We can have this guy Firefly, who's a huge Redskins fan from Scotland, come over and coach the team, take it over from Ron Rivera because Ron Rivera is so bad, and try to lead us to a championship.
I'll go do it. I'll go do it this weekend and next weekend against San Francisco and Dallas. And I'll do it for only $1 million.
I'll do it for even $750,000.
I mean, per game. I mean, that's $1 million per game, of course.
Yeah.
Well, at that point, I would welcome back Jim's Zorn.
Okay, so let's get back to talking about this.
Anyway, we have 2 games left, 8 quarters.
Of Rivera
and co.
Rivera with his mouth all agape, doing nothing. Has the defense gotten any better since Rivera took over? I mean, we gave up.
Was pretty well. No,
we gave up 30 points.
We gave up 30 points to a really bad Jets offense, like a really, really bad Jets offense. Like they didn't score the week before. The games they played before us, they did not score at all.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and we choked when we actually had a chance to win and crush Ken's hopes of a quarterback. They choked again.
They don't blow it. Yep. But I mean, it looked like we were going to just get our rear ends handed to us in that game.
Yeah, we didn't get boat raced.
Jacoby Brissett brought us back. Yeah, we did not get boat raced. But this weekend, I mean, I certainly at this point I have more faith in Jacoby Brissett than Sam Howell.
Yeah, but I kind of want Sam Howell to play at this point. Like, dudes, we don't. But like you said, Ron Rivera doesn't want to end his coaching career with a losing record, and he's right at 500. But you know what? Where I come from, a 50 or a 52% is still failing. You failed. It would take a couple of seasons undefeated to bring you up to a passing grade, sir.
Dude, if it wasn't for that 15-1 season he had with that fraud, Cam Newton, he's a fraud person, not a fraud football player, just a fraud person.
You are a loser, sir.
With him and Luke Kuechly on the field, I mean, he's just been mediocre to bad every other year.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I think that's totally selfish on his part.
To try to win.
If I were in his shoes, I would totally do that too because I'm trying to win.
Yeah, and if I were the owners of this team, I'd be coming down and be like, yeah, I think we want to see Sam Howell and see what he can do, see if he's for the future. Yeah. You need to put him in this week. And they'd be like, I thought I was in charge of football operations. And they're like, you are for 2 weeks. Put him in.
You are. Yeah, they'll say you are. And what you're going to do this weekend is put Sam Howell in.
Yeah. Or else you're going to be 2 weeks out of your paycheck when you get.
Cut!
Hold on.
Cut!
Oh my gosh. So anyway, they need to put him back in. They need to put the kid back in so we don't have any legitimate chance of winning. He said he was going to be the quarterback for the whole year. Let him play out the year. Unless he's getting killed. And he wasn't really getting killed. We only had 1 sack. So that was just sucking. Yeah. So it's not like the O-line's giving up 12 sacks a game. You're getting him out of there so he doesn't get killed.
Wasn't it very interesting when Jacoby Brissett came in and the O-line played better? Even with like Gates, like Gates in the middle, you know, they were doing really well at that point. Like everyone was stepping up. Terry suddenly got open a little bit.
It's night and day when he's in there. Like immediate. It's like an immediate adrenaline. It's like Super Mario Brothers when you like eat the mushroom and you like power up and you just run through everyone. That's what it was like. By talking about Super Mario Brothers, am I showing my age? Chris, the stud horse, I'm not going to call him Chris Horse. I'm going to call him Stud Horse because that's what he was known as before.
He might be married now. Maybe he doesn't want to
know that he doesn't want to be referred to as the stud.
Who is Stud Horse? Who is that guy?
No, he's like That was me in my 20s. Now I'm the Chris Horst. Anyway, the stud Horst, if they cut everyone on the team and started over, it wouldn't be the worst thing. I mean, we really are like cutting people. I mean, we cut our defensive ends or whatever we call them now.
Guys,
Edges.
a lot of this team are free agents, so they're leaving in one way or another. There he goes. Celebrating 21st year anniversary. Very nice.
Congrats, dude.
Very nice. Well, we got 2 games left, and Josh Harris is going to take out the trash. So we're going to see what Jacoby Brissett can do. One thing that was really cool about seeing him in there, though, is that he could see over his linemen.
Yeah. And so can this Drake May guy, but we'll talk about in the offseason. Let me ask you this. This just popped into my head, this thought. I keep seeing these articles about the Chiefs saying that when our season's over, they might want to try to sign EB if he gets fired. And if that's the case, I hold on to EB and say, yeah, you can have him if you give us a draft pick. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, but that could end up backfiring against us because they would be like, okay, never mind.
Yeah, but so? It doesn't hurt us that way because he's under contract to us. And then we just cut him. Right?
What's up, CJ Shoots photo?
CJ shoots photos. Look at his cool little like signature thing.
CJ. CJ.
Shoots photo.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, Chin in Nova Scotia is saying the only people he's going to keep are 93, 94, and Cam Curl. And Tress Way. Don't forget him.
Yeah, Tress Way. By the way, Chris Rodriguez Jr. is on IR. Another guy not coming in. So we've got Antonio Gibson and who are those guys that we keep like cutting after the offseason?
Dak Milne's still on the team.
Somehow.
He's going to be cleaned out with the trash, but he's not even going to get mentioned.
Oh, man. Dak Milne, Troy Apke.
David
guys
Mayo.
like that.
David
Mayo. Oh, my God.
Patterson's back. That's cool. I like him.
Patterson, yeah. I think he'll be all right.
They're throwing out all these dudes that I forgot were even on the team because we're so bad. Dude, I think I saw Jabril Cox in there this week.
Oh, let me see if he had any tackles. He had a tackle. He had one total sack. He had one total tackle. One.
Really?
You know who else had one? Fedarian Mathis, who was looking like a big old bust. Trent Scott? Christian Holmes? Cornelius Lucas got a tackle.
Wait, did they just say we signed Roy Halu back? Seriously? They got to be joking. They're just talking about old dudes. Okay, sorry. I just came in.
Yeah, I was about to say that guy's probably not even playing.
I just came in the middle of the conversation, dude. Like a little child.
Like a child that wanders into the middle of it.
Look at Chen in Nova Scotia. Don't put me in timeout. Tell me what I did. Slam. All right. I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas though. And honestly, watching that game, I was mad, and then we came back, and I was like, "This is cool." Mm-hmm. And then we still lost by a field goal, so that we get our draft pick. So I kind of enjoyed that game at the end. Throughout,
that's like quarter and a half.
Yeah, I was like, "We're not getting boat race! Yay!"
It was kind of nice to see all that stuff happen, to see that we weren't exactly getting boat raced, getting just blown up out there. What was the score at one point? I think
17-0 at one point.
Yeah, at one point it was like 17-0, and it was 27-7.
Yeah, 27-7. Yeah, we were getting boat raced at that point, and then we just basically destroyed them ever since Brissett came in, and then they got a field goal at the very end, and that was it in the second half for them.
Yeah.
Dude, we're gonna get boat raced by the 49ers. Let's face it.
This is going to be a talented team. Like they're going to be they really should just, even though they're coming out from the West Coast, I mean these guys are a Final Four team. Like I use that in the pros because like they are a team that could go to the Super Bowl. The Eagles more or less could go to the Super Bowl. Cowboys now. I guess Kansas City, Buffalo. Anyway. Oh, man.
No, I mean, and they also have Trent Williams, who hates us, and Chase Young, who wants to prove that he's not a bust, even though he is. So those dudes are... Dude, I'm still mad that we don't have Trent Williams anymore, that we couldn't settle that whole thing. At the time, it looked like he was kind of being the jerk about it, but... Now hearing stuff about what happened, I'm kind of like, I don't know about that.
I mean, as much as people like to bust on Washington, true fans have been watching the team for a real long time. We didn't want to be included in the group with the Jets and the Browns and the Lions and whatnot. But yet to everyone outside of the DMV area, we were.
Yeah. And are. In fact, the Lions and the Browns are above us now, dude. And so is everyone else except for the Arizona Cardinals and the Carolina Panthers.
Man. Yeah. We might be able to sneak into that number 2 pick. That would be really, really interesting.
What has to happen for us to move into the number 2 pick?
They have to win. The Cardinals have to win.
Who are they playing? Because we're not winning another game, dude. We suck. We suck.
Cards. Where are the Cards? Arizona Cardinals. Former Chicago Cardinals. Back in the day. They're playing Philly. They're playing at Philly this weekend. They're not going to win that one.
They're
playing versus Seattle on the last game.
Oh, they could win that one.
They might be able to win that one because they are 3-12. If they win, we will be tied, but we have beaten them, so I don't think that we'll have the tiebreaker on them. But it's all about strength of schedule, so
I don't know. There's someone put up like some website, of course, that tracks that strength of schedule crap.
Right, yeah.
Philly. I hate Philly, dude. I hate them so much. My hatred for Philly is about equal with Dallas now, if not even edging ahead of them. Because their fans suck so bad.
Oh, yeah. It's like I thought that once they won their Super Bowl and were finally invited to the party with the rest of the NFC East, we were just like, hey, it's about time to win a Super Bowl. Good luck. And their fans, who are the worst fans in the NFL, are just worse. They're just worse.
Yeah.
They're worse than ever, man.
Yeah.
Eagles!
They still have the fewest Super Bowls of any team in the NFC East.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Anyway.
So they're playing at Philly and then Seattle.
Chin in Nova Scotia begs to differ. He thinks that the Dallas fans are worse. Okay. All right. Well, I never had a Dallas fan pull a gun out when I was walking through a parking lot, but whatever.
That's one of the biggest thanks, CJack17, for putting up the draft order right now.
Oh, yes.
And you can see on there, we're 2 games ahead of Carolina, who have the first pick from the Bears. Or, sorry, the Bears have the first pick from Carolina. What am I looking at? The second pick is Arizona.
They have a stronger strength of schedule? Is that how it works? Or does the lower number get the pick on a tie?
I would imagine that the lower number will move ahead.
Lower number gets the pick on a tie. So if Arizona wins, we are in the number 2 pick. If I'm reading that
strength of schedule.
I
don't get the whole strength of schedule thing.
I'm looking at strength of schedule, and if you look at it, we have a 518 strength of schedule, and we're tied with New England. Yet we get the 3 pick, whereas Arizona has a 561, which is higher than us. So,
which is so funny because we beat those guys.
I think we would get the second pick if I'm reading this correctly. My math is not that great, but I think we'll move into the second pick if Arizona wins and we lose out. So if we get the second pick, Kenny Ken is gonna I don't know. He's going to go on a binger, and we're not going to see him for like until draft day because he's going to be so happy. He's going to be like,
come up with so many different draft scenarios for us to get the number one pick. So many different scenarios for him to work on that.
And I was thinking about this, dude. The Bears, if they decide to stick with Justin Fields, they could literally trade us the number one pick and move down to number 3 and probably get another first-round pick.
It's very possible.
And then they could trade down to New England from number 3 to number 4 and get another first-round pick next year. And then they can take whoever they want at number 4 or trade down again and just keep trading down and like bringing in more picks if they think Justin Fields is the dude.
I personally don't think Justin Fields. I think they're going to draft a quarterback.
I don't.
And New England also needs to draft a quarterback, and they're in the 4th spot, so they may try to move up. So it could be a battle of who wants it more. I mean, we gave up a ton to get RG3 to move up in that draft.
Yeah, all those 4 first.
This is going to be worse. This is going to be worse. Absolutely.
The Giants aren't going to trade up for a quarterback because they think that Danny DeVito is the answer.
I don't know what's going on with the Giants, man. You never know.
Anyway,
they just suck for a while and then they win random Super Bowls here and there.
Chicago's in a good place is all I'm saying, dude. They got 2 picks in the top 10 right now. And if they don't want a quarterback, they could get more picks. That's all I'm saying.
That's a good point. Like I think that's what I was trying to allude to, CJAC 17, that if New England tries to trade up with Arizona, it could be them and us try to up the game and add more picks to get up to that number 2 spot.
Yeah, it's gonna. We'll definitely try to trade up if we want one of those guys. I can tell you that right now. But let's get back to the game. Let's get back to the game because we're 37 minutes. We've got a lot of action happening in the live podcast room, which is odd because this isn't our normal night, you know. So
yeah, usually a lot of people's schedules are weird this week.
Yeah, usually when we switch nights, it's like ghost town in here. So it's cool to see everybody in there spending a little bit of time with their holidays in the chat room. Dude, how do you like my shirt, by the way?
It looks nice. Is it like a special shirt?
It's my Hawaiian Christmas shirt. It says Mele Kaliki Mako on it. Has some Hawaiian sayings.
Nice.
Dude, I even thought it was funny because I've had this shirt for a few years, and somewhere on here, there's a Toyota Tacoma. And Toyota Tacomas are huge in Hawaii. That's like the only truck you see. So I thought it was funny that it's on this shirt.
It's because there's historically there's tons of Japanese that have moved to Hawaii over years and years and years, and that's why.
Oh, yeah. Check out CJAC 17 sending in the emojis from YouTube. Or was that DJ Cole? So in case you guys didn't know, you can listen live in YouTube or Discord. And both of the chats are intertwined onto the podcast, which is kind of cool. CJAC 17's cooking some fried catfish. That sounds good right about now.
Yeah, man.
I could go for some of that, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk a little bit more about the game that sucked. Those 2 interceptions, like we said, were not his fault at all, but it's just unfortunate because he's already fragile with what happened the week before, and that didn't help anything.
It just made him a little bit more gun shy when he's just like, these guys aren't even focusing enough to catch the ball.
Logan Thomas literally threw the ball to the defender. Oh, and don't forget the blocked punt.
Oh my goodness, yeah. I mean, talking about Tress Way.
We had the new snapper.
That wasn't really his fault. Addison did what I guess he was supposed to do, and that dude just ran right by him.
I didn't see what the cause of it. Was it Addison, the new guy's fault, or was it just...
Dude, I think the dude just went to the left of Addison.
Addison.
So he was right and just came on. Addison Road.
Oh my gosh, CJAC 17. Man, you need to be bringing that stuff to Harry Hog Football West.
Oh, look. Oh, man.
That looks
That's
good.
what I'm talking about.
I don't think you can see pictures on the podcast, but
Not on the podcast, but if you're in the chat room, you can see it.
that looks tasty.
Mix it up with some like homemade mac and cheese.
That sounds good.
That sounds good.
See you guys later. I'm going to eat.
Place to be.
What is catfish? Isn't there a TV show about dudes that go noodling? Have you heard of this? Have you heard of this?
I know there's a TV show called People That Go Catfishing, which is like when people like try to screw over other people with like fake love interests and stuff.
No, dude.
But original catfish are just cats, are just fish that they have like long
Little
whiskers around the
things.
mouths.
But have you seen this noodling thing? Have you heard of this? I bet you this is how
they
CJack
keep their
17
hands
does
in
it.
the water.
They put their
Yeah,
hands down in holes under the water and wait for the catfish to like bite them on their arms, and then they pull up these giant catfish.
With their hands. With their hands.
Dude, you got to Google this. Noodling, it's called. These guys are crazy. I'm not putting my hand under some water in a hole where there's some animal that could bite. They could bite me?
It's
What
like
the-
in Flash Gordon the movie when the dude that ended up playing like James Bond, amongst other things, is like you have to stick your hand in the hole and you might die or whatever it is.
I'm not sticking my hand or anything else in any hole if I don't know what it is. Dude, CJack 17 is the noodler. He says, I don't noodle.
That's got to be. That's definitely. I mean. Yeah.
He's a
I think I'll
noodler.
just use a fishing pole and hope I don't like grab a carp or something instead of a catfish, because catfish usually hang out on the bottoms, by the way. But they're really good, like blackened catfish. You cook them up in like a cast iron pan. Oh man.
You know he's a noodler. Anyway, let's get back to the game. We digress. What
We
is
sucked. We sucked. Everyone sucked. Chris Rodriguez Jr. had a decent game and got a couple touchdowns.
Could
and then
I
he went on IR.
could I regress for a second? Because I just thought about this. Back to the TV show Firefly. When he comes to run the team in the United States, there can be an entire episode where he goes noodling for catfish. This Scottish guy, like, what is catfish? What is noodling? And some redneck is like, stick your hand down that hole up under the water. You feel that hole? There's a catfish in there. Stick your hand down in there and wait for it to bite you, and then just pull your arm up onto the boat.
Just leave your hand down there and you just wait, man. When something bites down on you, you just grab them.
Just wait.
grab 'em. Just pull
Don't
your
worry.
hand right on up.
It might hurt, but once we bring that fish on back to CJack 17, you're not going to be thinking about the pain.
He's like, back to football.
You-
Oh, yeah, they think it's a worm. Hey, man.
You're going to be thinking about how good that fish tastes. I'm not sticking my hand in any hole and wiggling it. Unless I know what that hole is. He's putting more pictures of it. Man, is that like an iron skillet he's frying that stuff up in? Oh, man.
Probably.
Okay. Back to football. Yes, Chris Rodriguez. Dude, that touchdown where he just kept going.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, he kept going, but now he's on injured reserve. So, because I mean, all we have now is somebody else who's going to be a free agent next year, number 24, Antonio Gibson, the fumbler, as our guy, and like your favorite guy from the University of Buffalo, Patterson.
I didn't know he went to Buffalo.
Buffalo.
I like Patterson. I think he's good, but Rodriguez, dude, we need to keep him around because when he just pulled that whole gaggle of people into the end zone, I liked him. I liked him ever since preseason. He's kind of like my new Patterson, actually. So that sucks. That sucks that he went out. So yeah, we'll fumble a couple times with number 24 in this game. And dude, what was up with all the drops? I'm trying to focus on football, but I keep thinking about catfish because I got Chen in Nova Scotia over here on this screen. I mean, C-Jack putting up all these pictures. But anyway, dude, let's talk about the drops. Bates, Logan Thomas. Like, our tight ends can't catch. And
it wasn't even this week. It's just week after week after week.
Especially Bates. And what's up, dude? You ready for this? With that Jamison Crowder fumble where no one touched him. No one. He had a good return, but no one touches him. And he throws the ball up in the air. Like, here you go.
I mean, when that happened, you and I were just like, I mean, you're just watching the game and you're just like, what else could go wrong? And then, you know, we didn't get that touchdown in the first half. And then we benched Howell after that second pick, even though neither one were his fault again, but I get it. And we almost came back and won. We took the lead, and they just went down the field and kicked a rather long field goal. It was like a 50-something yard for their guy.
For the win?
For the win.
Yeah. I thought he was going to miss it, honestly. Chen in Nova Scotia has a great point here, and I'm glad he brought this up. Notice how Jahan Dotson was nowhere to be seen. He was our number one pick last year. Exactly. And he was a non-factor most of the season. I would not call that a star player. Another bust. And remember how he was all like, yeah, man. Like, I don't drop the ball because I carry it with me and sleep with it and, like, take a shower with it and go take a dump with the ball in my arm and all this stuff. And he's like, I catch 100 balls a day and, like, all this stuff. And then the next thing we know, earlier this season, we just kept talking about him dropping it all the time. And now we don't talk about him at all. What was his stat line? Nothing for nothing?
He got one pass, I remember.
Oh, he got 2 for 31, actually.
Two.
Wow.
Okay. You know why? Because when Jacoby Brissett came in, everyone decided to remember how to play football. I think everyone was pressing and was pressing because Howell was pressing. And it was just making everyone play worse.
Oh, dude, look.
They weren't focusing. Like Bates. I think we're going to do so much better next year with the better coaching staff.
Hey, look, we have our friend, a Niner fan in here for the first time. Newbie. Huh. Hello, I'm a Niner fan. I'm going to the game this week. Should I be worried about Brissett? No.
if you don't have Bosa on your defensive line, then maybe.
Yeah.
I think it's going to do better than you think. You know what I think is that most people that are not Washington fans are looking at this game and going, oh, man, 49ers are going to wipe the floor with them. Shandy, the younger, hates Carolina. His dad hates
Washington.
Ron Rivera.
Trent Williams.
Washington. His dad
hates us.
Trent Williams.
Hates us.
But really, like, the coach of the team does
hates
not
us.
like us. And It's not going to be like Mike McDaniel being like, yeah, he gave me my start in the NFL, so I like Ron Rivera, and I'm not going to put up 70 on him because I respect the guy.
Yeah.
Shannon the Younger is just like,
it's on.
I can't even say what he's probably going to say because it's going to have a lot of F's in it.
Although I think his hatred probably has subsided now that Dan Snyder's gone.
Oh yeah.
So here's what. It doesn't matter about what Brissett does, honestly, newbie, because we don't have any defense. I mean, Brissett could ball out, but I don't think our non-existent defense is going to keep up with the 49ers offense. So,
yeah, man.
I wouldn't be too worried if I were you.
I wouldn't be too worried, but I think we're going to be better than people expect in this game.
Yeah.
At least on offense.
Yeah, at least on offense, but defense, I mean,
their offense, like Shannon, Nova Scotia, Deebo Samuel and George Kittle. Like George Kittle is, I'm not going to say he's having a down year or anything like that, but people aren't talking about him very much on ESPN and stuff as much as last year. But this is a game where those guys are going to come out and try to kick some major rear end, and it's going to be us on the other end of it.
Yeah,
it could be ugly, but I think we're also going to be a little bit better than people think.
On offense.
I'm already nervous about it.
Nervous about how bad we're going to go.
Seeing our team just get beat up so bad.
I'm not nervous about it. We have to lose at this point, so I'm not nervous anymore. We got to keep that draft pick, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the fact that we didn't get boat raced last week and lost with the last second field goal, but I think we're like 14-point underdogs.
I wonder if that's been adjusted because of Brissett being in.
I don't know. Let's look it up.
I don't know.
If C-Jack wasn't cooking some fish, I'd ask him to look it up. But let me see here. What is it? I'm tired of and when are we gonna get our new name? Because I'm tired of typing Commanders.
Well, January what?
We
January
are the
8th
Commanders.
Aha! January 8th is a Black Monday, and we'll be able to, and it'll be hopefully the end of the Snyder era completely, except for the name, and hopefully Josh Harris will address that very soon, along with everything else that we need to do, which is everything. New uniforms, back to the old.
Dude, the 49ers are favored away on the East Coast by 13.5, so that's the equivalent of 16.5, right?
Yeah.
Because you give 3 points to the home team. Is that still hold true, or is that changed since the last time I knew what was going on with betting stuff? You degenerates. So definitely we're 13.5-point underdogs, dude. That's saying that the betting degenerates are saying we're going to lose by 2 touchdowns. And honestly, I agree with them. I don't care what you say.
I think we're going to be better with Brissett on offense. Defensively, I think we're going to have it handed to us on defense.
So by being better, do you think that this will then be a high-scoring affair because the over-under is set at 48.5? I would say over.
I think it's going to be over.
Yeah, I do too.
Oh, yeah, and Ayuk. Jeez, man. Ugh.
Yeah, I think it's going to be over.
I would bet over on it if I were a gambler. And you were the gambler.
All right, we need to give our game balls and kicking the balls award because we're at 52 minutes in. Dude, I gotta do the graphic. Seriously.
And now, the coveted and ever-elusive Game Ball Award.
Game Ball Award, as usual, is brought to our friends at Dick's Pitch. Dick's Pitch. Remember to re-dip at the half for all your receiving needs. Make that one-handed catch? Use Dick's Pitch. Available at Dick's and other fine sporting goods stores. All right, Game Ball Awards. You're going with Jacoby Brissett because for the second week in a row, he came in and lit it up.
He lit it up. I mean, I'm sad about Hal. I feel bad for him.
Mm-hmm.
But for all we know, Bosa and Chase Young could put Brissett in a Bosa Young sandwich, and we could see Sam Howell come in during the game. Who knows? See you, C-Jack.
Later, C-Jack.
Happy New Year and HDTR. Enjoy that catfish. Game ball.
I'm going to give my game ball to Chris Rodriguez Jr. because of that pretty awesome touchdown run he had where he just kept churning and got in there. And I think he's going to be a good player for years to come, honestly. So
he's basically here to supplant 24, who's taking over.
Yeah.
This week.
So I'm giving mine to C-Jack. I'm giving mine to Chris Rodriguez. All right, we're opening up the game balls to everyone in the chat rooms, including Chin in Nova Scotia. Gives his to Zerline for saving us the draft pick. All right, who else? Let's see. Who's
the Jets kicker, by the way?
We got a lot of people in here. We're waiting for their game balls. Chin, Firefly. It looks like Chris Horst is gone. Stud Horst is gone. Let's see. Newbie.
Well.
Who's he gonna give his to? I don't know. All right, no one else is throwing theirs in. Okay, going once, going twice, and then Firefly didn't throw one in.
He may have fallen asleep.
He might have fallen asleep, dude. He's like leaning on his computer because it's like 1 a.m. there.
He might be asleep.
Yeah, I think he's out. All right. He's asleep, Chin in Nova Scotia. He's asleep. He's like I just imagine him with a bottle, like laying with his head on the desk.
Like laying on the desk with a bottle.
It's like frigid in Scotland with like 70 mile an hour coming off of the North Sea, and he's like, I'm trying to stay awake for this podcast. Anyway, all right.
North Sea's on the other side of Scotland for him.
Dude, I don't know the geography of Scotland. Freedom. Okay. With that being said, dudes, you know what it's time for.
It's time for this week's Kicking the Balls Award.
Kicking the Balls Award, as usual, is brought to you by our friends at Ridapoo. For all the doo-doo that you do, there's Ridapoo available at True Value, Limeberry Lumber, Taylor's Do It
Center,
and other fine non-big box hardware stores, including Taylor's Do It Center.
We've got one of those like 3 blocks from my house.
Speaking of, who told us that they were in Virginia Beach tonight? Who was that? Visiting? Big Nut. If you need something hardware related, make sure you run down to Taylor's Do It Center while you're in Virginia Beach. And remember, they carry Ridapoo.
They also carry other stuff you might need in an emergency if you're working on your house. It
Like-
just costs a lot more.
Like duct
Like
tape.
cement.
Like duct
Like a
tape.
bag of cement or duct tape.
Anything where you need it really quickly and don't feel like going all the way down to Home Depot because it's cheaper there. All right.
Yeah.
Where were we? Oh yeah, Kicking the Balls Award. I got to give mine to Jamison Crowder because that was just ridiculous. Although I could go Sam Howell, but that's obvious. So I'm giving it to Jamison Crowder, not Jameson's
Not Jameson's.
whiskey. Jamison Crowder.
Mine's going to Sam Howell because he sucked. He only completed 6. He completed 8 passes. 2 of them, 25% of those passes went to the other team.
No, hold on. Let's reflect on that. He completed 6, but then 2 other ones went to another team.
Right.
So he
instead
threw.
of being 6,
He only
yeah.
threw 3 times as amount to his own team than he did the other team.
Well, he threw the ball 6 of 22 times. Only six were receptions, and then the 2 picks. So that would be 8 of 24.
Those weren't his fault.
But
though.
again,
Disclaimer.
they weren't his fault. They really weren't. But again, I mean, everyone got open when Jacoby Brissett was in. The line blocked better when Jacoby Brissett was in.
Yeah, which is I don't understand, but whatever. You know. Dude, we better not come out and like beat the 49ers. Oh my gosh, there's going to be a whole bunch of bad people in this world. including Kenny Ken. Where's he tonight? Where's Kenny Ken? That dude's he's on the chat room literally at like 6 a.m. every day. Like, I'm drinking coffee and watching footage of Caleb Williams, and like putting up videos.
Well, that's before most kids are awake, so that's probably a good time for him.
Doesn't he have like 12 kids?
He's got like half a football team at his house. Dude,
Firefly, you can get Kenny Ken as your assistant coach in the show. He'd be like Beard from Ted Lasso. Imagine it. You got Firefly, and then Beard is Kenny Ken from Canada. This would be a great show. Think about it, guys. Taking over the team, and then Kenny Ken would have his 12 kids running around the stands. And, they could draft one of them or something. I don't know. I'm going to write the show. I think it would be awesome. I'd watch it. Then maybe, if we're lucky, Firefly would hire us in place of Julie Donaldson and Bram Weinstein. I'd be the new Julie, dude. I'd be like this.
My block.
Welcome to my block. Today we're going to... Anyway.
Oh, yeah. I think those guys are going to get replaced as well. We're going to get like a more professional radio group.
Yeah. Newbie. He's asking us some excellent questions here for a 49ers fan. He's going all out. Who do we want next year? Do you all want Adam Peters? I have no idea. I really don't either. I want someone different.
It doesn't matter what we want. It's going to matter what Josh Harris wants. And I truly believe that whoever it is has already signed on the dotted line. Or done everything except for sign on the dotted line, really.
Yeah, he's got that figured.
He has guys that have been working here for like a couple months in the back room.
Yeah, like that analyst guy. His name's like, I think his name's like Chen. Like his last name is literally Chen.
Huh.
And he's like big in analytics. So I have no idea what he has planned, but he's had since, 2 weeks before the season to start figuring out what he was going to do at the end of this season.
Yeah.
Chin in Nova Scotia.
Man. We all knew it was going to be a wash this year.
Yeah. Chin in Nova Scotia is throwing up his kick in the balls award. It's going to David Mayo for being a doof and falling on Daron Payne's arm and damn near breaking it. He was so out of the play, but wanting to get credit for a tackle he did not make. Just a doof. I'm gonna give Chen a timeout for naming David Mayo again. I'm just kidding.
David Mayo sucks, though, dude. By the way, hot take on my part, either Jonathan Allen or Daron Payne are getting traded this offseason. Someone is going to trade for them.
You really think?
Yeah.
We have enough holes without losing those dudes.
Yeah, Philadelphia Mathis is not good. He hasn't shown anything.
So what is up with Daron Payne? We didn't even mention the injury report. Is he good? Is he good to go? Like, let me look up the injury report.
I got you right here.
All right.
On this complete white screen. Man. Blinded by science.
Chen said he came back in, so he didn't get his arm broken.
He did come back in, but he is not even on the injury report.
He's good then. He's a tough dude.
I guess. Jonathan Allen sat out and Kendall Fuller sat out Wednesday just because they needed a rest.
Whatever. They're over it.
Yeah, and those guys are not young. So.
Yeah. Chin in Nova Scotia. Okay, it was a legitimate kick in the balls award to David Mayo. Okay, I'll give it to you.
It was. He's 100% correct. It's not like David Mayo was out there being good. It's not like Cody. It's not like he was out there getting interceptions like Cody Barton.
Dude, all I know is this. Newbie. I'll tell you this. You better be on the lookout for David Mayo. Write this number down, 51. Keep an eye on him because he is going to wreak havoc on Mr. Irrelevant. All right. You're going
to see a lot of David Mayo's jersey, the back of his jersey. I'm just telling you.
Yep. He's going to be all over the field doing nothing.
Are you sure Newbie is not someone like Sean the Fourth or Sixth?
We haven't
like coming up with some weird name.
Dude, did you notice that Kenny Ken the Seventh changed his name because he was because everyone that gets the name is cursed like the Madden curse in here, and he was afraid he was going to quit following the team because we were going to win the game against the Jets, and he wasn't going to. So at the last minute, he changed his name to. Hold on, what did he change it to?
What did he change it to?
Kenny, I hate this effing team. Ken.
Kenny
F this team is now what he's called because he didn't want to jinx it and have to like not follow the team anymore. Anyway, we should probably round this thing out, dude. We're an hour and 5 in. Firefly's falling asleep at the wheel. C-Jack-17's finished frying his food. Chin in Nova Scotia is the only one hanging out with us. And, well, no, Newbie is. And I...
Sean the Sixth.
And I don't know. I almost gave him a timeout, and then it would have just been us by ourselves. So anyway, let's play the music to end this thing. All right, here it is.
So you and I are looking at the over this weekend because we think that we'll score more points than people expect. And we think the 49ers are just going to score a ton of points because our defense is bad.
Newbie says he's been listening to us for years because his uncle's a Washington fan. Thanks, dude.
Especially when you say, God!
Tell your uncle to listen too. He dares me to give him a timeout?
No guts, no glory, bud. Well, while you're giving him a timeout, you guys come to tinyurl.com/HarryHF. That's HARRYHF. You can check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Twitter at Harry Hog. At YouTube, just look up Harry Hog Football.
I gave Chin in Nova Scotia a timeout. Like to give a shout out to everybody that's joined us in the chat room this holiday week, end day, whatever it is.
All week long, because the chat room's always open. You can talk to people in there.
Chin in Nova Scotia, who's on timeout, so probably can't hear us right now. Firefly, Big Nut, C-Jack-17 eating the fish that he was supposed to bring to us. Kenny.
Man, the stuff that look good.
Newbie. Who else was in here? DJ Cool 4 was in here.
Chris Horst.
Oh yeah, Chris Stud Horst.
Yeah. Welcome back.
Firefly fell asleep on the bottle.
Yeah.
Anyway,
the rest of you guys like Taylor Bud Light Goat and everything hanging out in the room this week.
Yep. We'll talk.
Hanging out, dude.
We'll talk to you guys next week, next year, I guess. At this point.
Oh yeah.
Well. Hail to the Redskins, and as always, if you see a Cowboys fan, even though they're a lot better than us, you know what to do. Joker!
You know, this weekend we'll probably just be looking ahead to the Cowboys game, and we'll just turn over for the 49ers. We can win this game.
We are the Commanders. We are the Commanders. Or was he induced?
I love you guys, man.